Good evening, and welcome to today's episode of Exposing Theater. Our subject for today is one Mythos, Truth Nation supporter. Now, for some reason, Mythos left this comment in my comment section. Oh shit. D Rizzo is deleting my comments. LOL. First off, that is completely false. As you can see by the screenshots here, your comments are still up. However, the way that you said it, you're implying that either I don't have the means or I don't have the right to delete your comments. So, since you've accused me of deleting your comments, I'm going to delete your comments. Why? Because I can. Simple as that. You shouldn't expect anything less because I owe you absolutely nothing. But we'll get to the deleting part later. Next, Mythos has been donating to True Freeman. And while this may upset some, I don't particularly care. I hope you continue to donate to him until your bank account is completely drained. That's my goal, to make sure every supporter of True Freeman's loses all of their money, donating it to a man who's going to spend it on drugs and alcohol and stalking people. This is the way. And everything would have been fine and dandy while Jim wasn't happy with it, and you and him were having a brisk little back and forth. Everything would have been fine until you decided to drag my name into it. That was not a great idea. You say here, "Thanks for blocking my face, D Rizzo. Most respect." As I did in this video, it was a picture of you, and I blocked out your face. Did you ever think for 1 second that if I have a video with a picture of you that came from God knows where, that I blocked out your face, that I might still have the picture, the unedited version of that picture, and could possibly compare it to the face that you showed on Tyra's stream? Not that it's necessary. Not that it's necessary at all. Because you see here, this is not Mythos commenting under that video. This is Red Rum. What's the relation, you might ask? Well, as most people already know or have surmised, Mythos and Red Rum are the same person. Shocker. Ooh. Red Rum has donated to Tyra in the past, and Tyra has jerked him for his money. He basically tapped his pockets and told him to go back and get more money, and he blocked him until he donated more money. I felt bad for him, and I made a video wagging my finger at Tyra for taking money out of a veteran's pocket and telling him to go get more and come back with it, or else he was going to stay blocked. It was very rude, it was very disrespectful. And I thought at the time that Red Rum had learned his lesson, but I was wrong, because here he is back as Mythos, dumping more of his hard-earned money into Tyra's pocket. Now that's your prerogative. If you want to keep your hand on the hot stove and continue to be burned, that's all you. But there's a lot of other stuff that comes with it. And when that happens, don't cry. Do not cry. Remember, the man is a drug addict. The man is a drunk. The man tries to actively get people evicted, put in prison, and have their children taken away. All of that weight now falls upon you. You said that you don't like giving people money to do evil. Well, you are giving a person money to do evil, and that makes you a hypocrite. So, with that being said, I will play this.
Mathos. Okay, got you, brother. TG, got you, brother. Let me reply back with a thumbs up. Appreciate you, man. That Mathos done dropped a nigga 2 C notes today. And y'all sitting up here and being bougie. Y'all can't drop 10, 15, 20, 30 here. You know what I mean? Mathos done dropped 2 C notes on the motherfucker head today.
For those of you who were listening, you heard Tyra thank Mythos for the $50 donation and said he gave him many more donations over the course of the day or 2 days or whatever. And he also said 2 letters, TG. What does TG mean? Let's have a look at this.
Mathos. Okay, got you, brother. TG, got you, brother. Let me reply back with a thumbs up. Appreciate you, man. That Mathos done dropped a nigga 2 C notes today. And y'all sitting up here and being bougie. Y'all can't drop 10, 15, 20, 30 here. You know what I mean? Mathos done dropped 2 C notes on the motherfucker head today.
Yeah, you're back. You are indeed back. But what Tyra doesn't know is Mythos and Red Rum and Tim Goodwin have all been big supporters of a lot of people that Tyra really, really likes. Like, say, Tommy Sotomayor. Tim Goodwin was a big supporter of Tommy. Tim Goodwin was also a big supporter of Zone. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Zone, but I'm pretty sure he was. Tim Goodwin was also a big supporter of Vic Damone. And, Tim Goodwin was also a big supporter of someone that Tyra really, really loved. And I'm not talking about Sungrown here, although I believe he was a big supporter of Sungrown. No, that's not the person I'm talking about. As you see here in this little chat box, I have a wrench, and Carrie's in this chat. She has a wrench. You'll also see Tim in this chat talking about whatever. You know, we're talking about little things in this chat. It's like a little gathering or whatever. All of the person's supporters at the time. Whose chat were we in where I and Carrie had a wrench? Let's have a look. Oh, it's the Chucky Cartel. So Tim Goodwin was also a big supporter of Chucky. In fact, I would say that Chucky would agree with me when I say that Tim Goodwin was down with the CC. Tim Goodwin is part of the Chucky Cartel. He's down with the CC. And if I'm not mistaken, Chucky was one of Tyra's biggest headaches. So the question stands, how will Tyra feel when he finds out that his biggest supporter, Mythos, was a supporter of Tommy Sotomayor, a supporter of Sungrown, a supporter of Zone, a supporter of Vic, and a supporter of the Chucky Cartel, all of whom funded the penny bloopers, the Arby's situation, the Craigslist ads, and many, many other wonderful things, acts of evil, if you will, paid for by our sponsor of the day, Mr. Mythos. I can't wait to hear Tyra's reaction. Coming soon. There is one question left in my mind unanswered, though. Now, this person has donated and supported all of these different people. I don't understand the reasoning why someone would give money to, let's say, Chucky, and encourage Chucky to attack True Freeman, then go over to True Freeman and start donating heavily to True Freeman, then leave True Freeman and go back over to the likes of Vic and Tommy and Sungrown and donate heavy over there, then go back to True Freeman and continue donating over there. I don't understand the reasoning. It's not out of any sense of right and wrong. See, a person with a sense of right and wrong, yeah, they could end up on one side or another for a little bit and then eventually figure out what's going on, and they may migrate over to another side. I can see that happening. Some people will stay on one side, recognizing everything for what it is. But to be on one side and then to go over to the other side and see the stuff that person does and get burned by that person, then go back to the other side, talk shit about that person, and then years later go back to the person that burned you, I don't understand what's going on. It's not out of any sort of morality. I'm wondering if it's just a sense of mischief, or is it stupidity, or I don't know what it is. That's one thing I haven't figured out. I'm going to have to give it some thought. Or maybe Tyra can get those answers for us. Something to look forward to this week. Anyway, that is the end of our little exposing theater. I could flash a whole bunch of pictures of faces and addresses and all kinds of stuff like that, but we're not going to do that today. We're not going to do that. We'll just leave this as is and let Tyra do all his detective work and keen observations, because, he loves to do that stuff. Let's see what he makes of it.